Okay, let's go. Gotta check it out. Blah, 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 blah. All right. What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming back to the channel. If it's your first time here, my name is David Aguilar, or you may know me as Ariel Austin. Today I'm going to give you a look into what I carry with me about 90 to 95% of my shoots. So whether it's something that I'm doing for myself as a content creator for Instagram or YouTube, or something I'm doing for my clients, this is what I carry with me about 90 to 95% of the time. As you can see, this bag is well worn and beat up. It's been everywhere with me to New York, Mexico, Arizona, Denver. I've carried this bag everywhere with me. I know about you guys, but when I first started off in photography, I felt like I had a way bigger bag with me because I would want to carry everything all the time, even if I didn't need it. And as the years gone by and the multiple shoots that I've done, I've pretty much been able to carry everything in this little bag, which weighs about 18 to 20 pounds. I weighed it before we started. And so this is my daily carry pretty much. So let's start off with the bag. This is the M-Trekker by Lowepro BP 150. I've had this with me for almost 3 years now, and as you can tell by the wear and tear, it's been through a lot. Man, after almost 3 years, it survived so much of what I put it through. It still looks like in great condition. There's not really too much of it coming apart. The clamps still work really well with the tripod. I still have the weather seal, so even when it's raining, I still wrap up my bag so nothing gets wet. I've been wanting to upgrade recently, but honestly, I've been able to carry everything that I use in here, so there's no reason for me to upgrade. All right, now let's move on to the camera body that I shoot with almost all the time, which is going to be the Sony A7C. This is pretty much what I shoot with about 100% of the time. I love everything about this camera. Again, the flip out screen is the main thing that I've really enjoyed about it. So when I'm doing any street photography or architecture photography, or even when I'm doing some realty stuff, I love the flip out screen, just being able to give me different angles and different shots. The thing I love about the Sony A7C is the size. It's very small, portable, fits in this small little pocket, as you can tell. So it doesn't take up much room, but it's a full frame camera, shoots in 4K, amazing slow motion. So I take this pretty much everywhere I go, no matter if I'm doing a shoot for myself, if I shoot for a client, or if I'm just out having fun and I'm not even really thinking about shooting. I still like to carry this on me because it's small, portable, and I like to have this clip on here. So I got this from Jesse Driftwood. It was something that he had recommended. This is from Peak Design. So you just go ahead and clip this. So for any run and gun shooter, this is really great because you're able to just kind of carry your camera with you at all times. And so if you need to take it off, you just clip this right here, pops right off, and you're able to take your photos. Also have these on for the strap. Again, Peak Design, pretty much everything that I have on my camera. All right, next up are the lenses. So the first one I want to start off with is my all-time favorite, which is going to be the Tamron 17 to 28. Now, one of the things I love about this lens is the focal range. So it goes from a 17, which allows me to do so much with vlogging when it comes to clients. If we're doing interviews or if I'm doing something for realty and showing off the inside of a home or a business, the 17 allows me to get so much in frame that I'm allowed to show in videos or even in photography. It's great. But then the 28 is so good because it allows me to get tight shots in if I need to. But mainly if I have this on a stabilizer, the zoom is internal, so it does not affect at all. Also, it's a very small lens. It's not that big in size, so it fits perfectly in this little pocket that I have for it. And I kind of customized this after months and months of working with it, and this is the setup that works with me the best. So moving on to the next lens, it's going to be the Tamron 28 to 200. Now, when I say that this is the best all-around lens on the market right now, I mean, this is the best all-around lens on the market. And this is a great lens for any content creator. Like I said, when it comes to vlogging, if you're going to show off a new space and you're trying to show off the area, the 28 allows you to get everything in frame, but then the 200 allows you to get maybe shots of the barista behind the bar, or maybe allows you to get a bird or something off in the distance. You can go 35 and get really good portrait shots. You can do your 50s and get really good cinematic shots. So To me, this is probably one of the best lenses you can get on the market right now for the money. Because I know Sony has a really good zoom lens, but they're expensive, and so many other lenses on the market don't have a good of glass as Tamron does. So with this focal length, with this glass, with this size, I think anybody who is a street photographer who is getting into videography or photography, if you're looking for a cheap budget lens for your camera, especially for a Sony camera, this is the lens right here. All right, next up is the drone. So I recently updated my drone to the DJI Mavic Air 2S. Now, the other reason that I would carry big camera bags with me when I was first shooting off was because when I was carrying the drone, I had the Phantom 3. That thing was huge. So as the years have gone by, drones have gotten smaller, which has allowed me to really utilize this camera bag. And the Mavic Air 2S is probably the greatest drone you can get right now, under $2,000. It is amazing. The camera quality is phenomenal. For photography is insane, the detail you can get with this. This has, I think, a 4x zoom. So again, I'm off at a distance and I'm able to zoom into any buildings or maybe some of the rowers that I like to shoot in the morning. This is such a great drone. When it comes to the follow me mode and all the little features on there, it's pretty much click and go. Whether you're trying to do a panoramic shot, whether you're trying to do a hyperlapse, whether you're doing anything on this drone, it's so smart, so small, so quiet. DJI really nailed it with this drone. I always try to keep one battery with me or two, depending on how long the shoot's gonna go. If you guys have ever shot in the drone, this new controller that DJI has done, it feels so good on the hands. This is great for your phone. It just feels like sturdy. You're able to move your drone around way better. So DJI, I think, knocked it out of the park with the Air 2S. So now let's move on to the sleeve. Some photographers like to carry their laptop with them. Other photographers like to carry a tablet with them. I like to carry my iPad. I like to carry this with me on my Saturday shoots, or if I'm gonna be out downtown and I'm gonna stop at a coffee shop, or I'm gonna go to somewhere to just hang out and edit photos. This is pretty much what I carry with me about 60 to 70% of the time, because if there's times where I'm downtown flying the drone and taking photos and I'm gonna be hanging out there for a while, I like to have my iPad on me just so I can post up, have some coffee, eat a croissant, and edit and get some photos done. Next up, let me tell you the little additional things I like to carry in the pockets. So I always like to keep a spare filter with me. This brand, I think, to me, very inexpensive filters and they do the job. Spare battery. Now the cool thing about the Sony A7C is the battery life on this lasts me about 2 to 3 days depending on how long my shoots are. So I only carry one battery with me, when before I would carry 2 or 3. I like to carry business cards with me. Especially if you're a photographer and a videographer, when you're posted up in coffee shops or breweries, wherever you like to do your editing and hang out, so many people are around like looking at you, looking at your gear. And I've been approached so many times in coffee shops and people ask me for a card or they just strike up a conversation. So having a card with you at all times is very handy. On to the next one. This is something I promise you no other photographer has, which is spare gauges. I like to keep these ND filters for my drone. So especially because I do a lot of morning photography and a lot of photography when the sun is out, ND filters for my drone. I try to keep them with me at all times because you never know when you're gonna need it. And last but not least, what I like to carry are memory cards. Now the Lowepro bag has little pockets here on the top where you can put some memory cards in. And I wish I would have done this years ago. There's so many times where I've gone on a photo shoot and I forget a memory card, or I only have one and have to go through and delete other ones because I don't have enough memory in it. And I wish that I would have put more memory cards in these little slots. So I like to have a micro SD and then the SD card for the camera. And I'll keep these in there until I really need them. So I only use them in times of emergency. So photographers out there, I 100% suggest that you put memory cards in your bags and you keep them there until you really need them. Trust me, this will save your life one day. Next up is the tripod I like to carry with me. Of course, I like to carry the Joby. This is something that stays with me about 50% of the time. The other half of the time I'll carry my other Joby tripod. I like this one also because it isn't plastic. It's very, very sturdy. The ball head on this is super great, but it also doesn't take up too much room and it isn't too heavy on the bag. Next up, front zipper. Boom, one thing I like to carry with me. So this is the Lowepro handy dandy anything you need pouch. I bought this almost 1.5 years ago and I have not taken it out of my bag. Whenever I need wires for charging any part of my equipment, my phone, whatever it is, got my wires right here. If I ever need a pen to write anything down, got my pen. Got some clean wipes to clean lenses or anything like that. More business cards. Again, you can never have enough. There's some times where I forget to put them in my bag, so having them back up here helps a lot also. This zipper is a zipper of knickknacks, so I have like toothpicks in there, these little L wrenches. So this is somewhere where I carry almost anything that I may need. And of course, more wipes. With dirty lenses, there's times where you lend your wipes to other photographers or you leave them somewhere. So I always carry cleaning wipes with me because you can never, ever have enough. And of course, you always need a handy dandy knife. If anything, there's a lot of creepers when you're doing street photography, so you may need this. The flex arm. Now this, I love it because I get to use anything on it. There's times where I'll keep a light on here. So these, I like to carry these LED lights with me also. It's called a Weeby light. Next up, the action camera I like to carry with me at all times is pretty much the Insta360. When I bought this camera, I didn't think I was gonna like it, to be honest with you. I was a GoPro fanatic. To me, I thought GoPro was the best, but I was having so many issues with them at the time where I thought to myself, hey, let me just take a dive into the dark and try getting the Insta360. And this is probably the best thing I've ever bought. I've had so much fun with this. I've put this on a drone. I've put this on my bag. I've put this on my one wheel. This thing has stood up to so many abuses that it's insane. The other thing I like to carry with me is a battery charger. So early on, I never thought I needed a charger as a photographer, but as I got on doing a lot of shoots, I noticed I really need these, whether it's charging the camera that I'm using, whether it's charging the batteries for the camera I'm using, whether it's charging lights, or if you have a microphone that you need to charge, or whatever it be, you need an external charger with you. Even if it's to charge your phone, if you're at a shoot and you want to post a photo and your phone's about to die, it's always good to have one with you. And now let's move on to audio. As you can tell, these are a little beat up. I've been using them a lot more the last few weeks as I've been vlogging and even doing more things with clients and interviews. I bought these just because I couldn't afford the Rode wireless mics. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let me try these. They're cheaper, so if they work, great. Even if they work in a cheap fashion, like not long distance, or I get decent audio but not great, but better than what I'm getting through my camera, I would be happy with that. So honestly, these don't have the greatest range, but when I'm vlogging or when I'm talking in front of the camera in the office or even outdoors, if you're just trying to do informational videos for your content or your clients, these would be really good to get audio if you're talking in front of the camera. So they do their job. It's a great Bluetooth mic. It doesn't infringe too much if you're doing interviews. Like other ones have a really big receiver, so it's everywhere in your pocket. These are small, like not really bigger than the size of the palm of my hand. So these are really, really good. And the best thing about this bag is pretty much I can have everything packed up and ready to go in less than 30 seconds. Don't believe me? Just watch. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you like the content, remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down below letting me know what you shoot with. What's your favorite lens? What's your favorite camera body? Do you use the same bag? Because if you do, then we are pretty much twinning. High five, because you're the best.